5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drop.
Oh, wait, can you wear headphones, mate? I can hear myself. It's really irritating.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, you're the host. You should know this.
So I just don't. I'm waiting for the new Sony headphones, man.
Which new Sony headphones?
You know the really awesome one with noise cancelling, right? The best rated one, WH1 something something. They've got the 3rd generation coming out.
Headphones, right? Not earphones.
No, like the ones that you have, yeah.
You want to get these, mate?
What are they?
Bose Quiet Comfort 2.
Nah, fuck the Bose, mate.
I'm telling you, it's so comfortable. Because I was when I was looking a couple of years ago, I was deciding between the Sonys and the Bose. And the Sonys, technically, actually, they are better. But the Bose look much better. And they're very comfortable. And the noise cancellation on airplanes is, like, amazing. But if you use it just normally, it's a bit too much. Like, it's like, you know, like you're in space or something.
Oh, so those was noise cancelling as well?
Yeah, of course.
Fucking hell, mate. Jesus. You've got all the gear, haven't you? But you're just not producing the content, you fucking bastard. You've got everything, but you're just not doing anything. Oh, God.
Mate, this is so I can do work and not have to listen to mugs like you.
Trust me, I don't talk in the office absolutely whatsoever. I'm a quiet fucking... I'm just like, bang! I'm fucking smashing it out, aren't I?
Yeah, but don't you have to order people about? And we're like, oi, John, where's that report? You're supposed to be on my desk Friday morning, 9 a.m.
yeah, because working in a tech company is exactly like that, mate.
Yeah. It's like, hey, John, you know, it gets to 6 p.m. and you're just like, hey, John, I need a report for my Monday morning meeting with upper management. Don't worry, you don't have to do it now. Just get it done by Monday morning. AKA working the whole weekend. That has happened to me many times.
Nah, man, it's from a movie.
That's from real life. I'm telling you, it happens to me a lot.
Oh my God, fuck that, mate.
And my team.
Fuck that shit. All right, okay, maybe I'll just do the quick intro here. Actually, fuck it, I'll record it afterwards, innit? Like, just keep this flowing.
Yeah, keep it flowing.
Keep it flowing. So, when are you going to be the big boss man and quit whatever you're doing now? Because clearly you're not enjoying yourself.
It's a love-hate relationship. It really is. Like, some days.
What do you mean? What do you love? What do you hate?
Oh, well, hate the politics, but I don't know. I try not to get into any politics. But some people just, you know, they just love it. Absolutely love it.
It's fucking bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah. What do I love? I love working with my team. I love... so my job role is quite flexible. Our team actually has quite a big shortage, so I can do many things within like the marketing sphere, which is really interesting. So I'm learning a lot and quite quickly.
That's
about it. That's it.
Okay. Just basically different challenges in marketing. I mean, you can find that anywhere, mate. Can't you?
Could probably find it in Bangkok.
Oh, you could definitely find it in Bangkok, mate.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, I also have a love-hate relationship with my job. I love being able to sort of start initiatives and have people work on them. I don't like... So I realized this recently. I don't like our company not really having a vision. Like, it's written down on paper, but nobody fucking believes in it, right? I think I'm quite vision and mission driven. Like, I want to know I'm working towards something that's not bullshit, right? I'll rather believe in like, oh, what I'm doing is affecting a larger population, but also like I'm doing some kind of good, right? When you're working in the financial sector, a lot of times it's not to like, even if you brand it like to help people, it's not that, right? For me, it's like, oh, and it doesn't get driven enough from upper management. So I'm just like, what the fuck am I actually doing here? So I question a lot of that a lot of the times. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't bash it too much. I still love it. I love the money, of course.
Yeah, that never hurts.
Yeah, that never hurts.
No, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Oh, God. I'd rather be working for free, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, the worst thing about making 6 figures is... No.
But I think a lot of that thinking comes from you've had a lot of experience in startups, right? So you can see, you're trying to build this product or service, and it's aimed for a certain customer base. So you need to drive that message for it to be successful. You need to drive the value proposition and convey that to your audience.
Yeah, it needs to be solid, right? Like the product, of course, needs to be solid. But actually, that's not my first thing. My first thing is if we just because if we sort the product out, does that mean we're awesome? No, not really, man. Like for me, what excites me is building an awesome team, right? Like I've been at bad companies, right? All companies aren't perfect, but I've been at like a shitty one and then seen how a good company functions, even if they don't build the best products and services, even if we are working for these corporate clients that has crazy like requirements, but the team itself and the people on it are fucking amazing, right? So I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do because no matter, because sometimes you don't get a lot of these product decisions anyway, right? Being just a normal designer on a team. So for me, it's like, okay, well, let's try and build an awesome team, and then the product will follow, right? Because you're doing things the right way, or at least like when your designers leave the team, they can get a better job somewhere else, right? They can't do that by just purely trying to build this product that their vision of the product, because it's like so many other people. There's so many like chefs in the kitchen. But if you build an awesome team, like individually, they'll have all these skills and they can get like a management job somewhere, or they can be a leader on a team, or they can be a senior designer, or whatever it is, right? So that's what I try to do, and it was. I mean, I'm struggling. I am literally struggling. It's the first time that I've tried to do this like in this kind of scale, and it's hard, mate. It's fucking hard.
But would you say the culture of the company you're working for now is fully corporate, or
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're a corporate trying to pretend to be a startup. So everything is like, oh, let's just be agile, and you're like, shut the fuck up, man. You don't even believe in it. Like the way you function is waterfall, right? So be honest to us, and that's okay. Like we don't mind, but just be honest. Yeah. So it's a corporate pretending to be a startup. It's very top down. So a lot of decisions we don't get to make daily, and that's fine. Like that's fine. But I don't think I was meant for this environment. I think yeah. I like to run fast. I like to make my own decisions, or at least feel empowered to, and be like it's messy, right? Like, so I like messy environments, but this is the wrong kind of messy. Yeah. Why are you looking at me like that?
just listening to you talk about this?
What do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been in corporate for 3 years, and yeah, there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit, right? You got to put up with a lot of crap from different people have different opinions, and you have to try and, you can't communicate one way because you don't want to upset somebody, or you don't want to let down your boss because somebody in a different department is not treating you right, but you don't want to lash out because then it looks bad on the boss or it looks bad on your team members. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on, which is kind of irritating, slightly irritating. But yeah, I just try and focus on what I'm doing and what the team's doing, and then think about 6 p.m. out I go, clock out and turn off. Well, actually, can't really turn off, but
That makes sense, mate. Yeah. I don't know, because I think this has been such a big part of my life for the last fucking God knows how many years. So that's all I think about, right? Yeah, that's all I consume as content. I'm like, yeah, I know what I want. I'm really interested in this field. That's why I'm here. As I wouldn't do it, right? So for me to go to work every day and not really enjoy it, and have like the other night, right? I was thinking about drafting a resignation letter just so I have it in my inbox. So when I get pissed off enough, I just fucking send it. Do you know what I mean? That's not healthy for your brain, right?
no, it's not. It's not. You don't want. It's not a good time to be drafting resignation letters.
I don't think there ever is, mate, to be fair. Like, if I wouldn't have drafted a resignation letter if I didn't have a safety net, right? Um, but I've done it before anyway, so it's fine. Like, I've had no safety net before and just landed on my feet anyway, right? Oh, yeah. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler.
You're a pilk. But so, say if you
Yeah.
did leave this company one day, would you want to stay in Bangkok or would you want to go back to Vietnam or England? Nah, not England. Yeah,
So nah, not England.
definitely not England.
Yeah, not England right now. Anyway, I don't need to slow down. England will just slow you down. I might stay in Bangkok for a few months. You know, pay rent and just kind of because I'll be doing the same in Vietnam, right? I'll still be paying rent and stuff. So I don't see why I need to get out of here. If I really wanted to save money, I could probably move in with my mom because she has a 2 bedroom apartment that also I pay for rent. So I wouldn't have to be renting 2 apartments. However, no, I think Bangkok's cool. There's a lot of people that's like cool to and easier to connect with. I think here it's more like there's a lot of Western influences and people just kind of want to like work together, right? I'm sure in Vietnam too, but no, I think Bangkok is cool, and I will just basically chill out for like the next 6 months. If I feel like I want to make some money, then I'll try to freelance, but maybe just create lots of like stupid content, see where that gets me because I actually quite enjoy it, and yeah, and work on that passive income that we've spoke a lot about in the past, me and you. So and see like because at the end of the day, I don't want to work for someone, man. Like who does anyway? What would you do? What's your next move?
I'm moving to Bangkok.
Oh, fuck yeah, you are. And then I'm going back to Vietnam then.
To be honest, I was thinking about this. So when I came to Vietnam to visit you, after that I was like, yeah, this place is awesome. I really want to move here. And after a year thinking about it, I feel like Vietnam's too small and too a bit too slow. I feel like I would probably get a bit bored, even though it's. I mean, it's a fantastic place. You've got amazing. I've only been to Ho Chi Minh to visit you.
Amazing women. That's all you need.
Oh yeah, the women are absolutely stunning. Not going to lie
Bro,
about that.
everything else is the same, man. You go home, you go gym, you get your money, and you go gym, but the
Oi,
women
Chris.
is just yeah.
I pulled a bird.
Shut up, mate.
We won't talk about that trip. No, but you've got like Da Nang, which is amazing. I didn't go to Hoi An when I was there, but Da Nang was amazing. But I don't know. I feel like life's a bit slow there. I feel like it would just be similar to moving to Cambodia, and I'd probably get bored. And maybe if I was like traveling for work and doing lots of traveling, and then like having a home base, then I could see something like that. But yeah, I'm thinking I need something a bit more fast paced. Like Bangkok seems perfect. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so let me give you a comparison, right? Bangkok, the city is so big, so it's quite spread out, and there's the public transport is good enough. It's not Taipei. You can't get to everywhere you want to go. So a lot of
Yeah,
places you'll have to get a taxi. So it'll take you like 45 minutes, right? And people don't want to like on a Friday night. People are like, hey man, like fuck going out. I've just had a hard week, and on Friday night I'm staying at home, bro. But in Vietnam, they're like, what are you doing on Tuesday night? What are you doing on Saturday night? What are you doing on Thursday night? You're like, nothing, man. And they're like, all right, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Cool. Like, trust me, it seems small, but there's so many pockets of things that are interesting. Bangkok is like westernized, so people don't even live in the city. Majority of the people that I know here, like the people I work with, they live like an hour away because they can't afford the rent. Those are locals, expats. Yes, they're in the city, but it's a weekend life, right? It's too western for me. I don't like the weekend life. I like to like just fuck around like any night of the week. You know what I mean? Now me,
you're in a corporate job now, mate. You can't do that. Well, actually, you can if you can handle the lack of sleep. Fuck it, why not?
I do it all the time, mate. I do it all the time, mate.
I mean, I would think Bangkok would be sick for that. Like, you've got so many clubs, so many parties, so many events going on. I mean, the travel sounds like a bit of an issue, and the traffic.
Yeah, you might have a different experience, right? I'm just telling you about mine.
Yeah,
Because I like hopping on a scooter and just driving down the road, like stop at anywhere you want and just like hit up all these places. Yeah, for me, but Vietnam is a great fit, but there's not that many really good job opportunities. It's like the market is
yeah,
still blossoming in tech, right? Bangkok, there's better tech opportunities, more startups, more conferences, but the talent is still the same. I would say Vietnam. UX talent is potentially better, potentially. But Bangkok, they pay you more, right? So you got to balance that. So yeah, like sorry, man, I just went on a riff there. What was your next move? Like, I mean, you're thinking about Bangkok, but like realistically, where would you see yourself, or what do you want to do, man?
I mean, definitely Asia. I don't really see myself going to back to Europe or America unless like some really crazy good opportunity came along. I'm pretty happy in Taiwan. Got a good job. Got great group of friends. So yeah, I'm not really locked down onto one place. There's a couple of countries that I could see myself living in next, like that I thought about. So like Bangkok definitely is one of those. Singapore is one of those as well. Absolutely love Singapore. Japan is something I would want that interests me. So I don't know, something about it because it's so different to everywhere else,
And the birds are fit,
and the birds are so fit.
so fit.
Oh my god!
Maybe one of the fittest Asians, right?
Listen, all Asians are fit, but yes, they are very.
Thanks, mate.
To all the Asians listening, all Asians are fit. But yeah, Japan was. Well, I remember it was we on our trip. Was it last year? No, it was two summers ago, right? Nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah, man.
It was my first trip to Tokyo, and I just remember what we were just in Shibuya. Or what is it called? The Shibuya area. And we were just looking at all these girls and staring at them like, oh my god, I've never seen so many fit girls in one area before.
It was Harajuku, right? And we just
Oh yeah.
we had to sit down, just like on some like stupid railing or whatever. It was funny, man. And you had Tourette's the whole holiday. It was fucking great.
Yeah. No, but it's weird, right? Because we would see all these guys like just randomly walking and talking to girls, getting rejected, and then just walking up the street and getting rejected again. And I did some research online, and apparently they called it lampa, which is basically picking up girls in Japan, and apparently it's a massive thing over there.
Didn't you try a few times? Didn't you set yourself a target or something?
I did pull a bird.
Was it on the same night as the one that I got with, or was it different?
I can't remember. You got with quite a few, didn't you?
I got with two. Like the first night, we went to Roppongi.
Oh, Roppongi. You can't talk about this.
Why
it's
not?
too dodgy.
Why not? Please can we talk about it?
No, I can't. It's so bad. It's so. I'm crying. It's so bad.
What's bad about it? What's bad about it? Oh, you're fucking crying, dude.
I can't. Why don't we just have normal stories?
I don't know, mate. It's all for the story, right? It's all for the game.
Yeah.
That was good. Okay, so I'll talk about a story from Japan, right? So World Cup. It was World Cup season. It was my 30th sort of birthday. 2-3 weeks. Steve came to Tokyo, and we met up in Tokyo. And yeah, we had booked one hotel for a while, and it was great. The whole city was buzzing. It was World Cup season, and one night Japan are playing, right? And I think Steve is wearing his Japan shirt that you bought, right? Was it the night after?
I'm not sure if I wore that out. Actually, I might have been. Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't wear that out at night. Just in the day.
Okay, so yeah, there was one conversation that you're like, "Damn, I should have wore it," because like that was the night that Japan played, right? And actually, they won that night as well, which was cool. But we were by our hotel area, and I think Steve, I believe you had just broken up with your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and you were just like, I find Indian girls really hot. I think this was one of the subjects, right? And I was like, all right, man, cool, whatever. And then we like, I guess we see two hot girls that are Indian, right? And I don't know what we were doing. I don't know what we were walking the streets. I think we probably had a few drinks, right? And we're like, all right, let's us let's see where they're going. Like so we walk like behind them a little bit, and then it starts getting a bit random. They like go to like an underpass, and we're like, are we gonna like what are we gonna do here? Like let's just like
Yeah, you wanted to be creepy and follow them.
shut the fuck up, mate. It's not my fantasy.
You shouldn't do that, mate. It's really creepy.
Jesus Christ, this is anyway. So we're like, oh, okay, well they were hot, whatever. We're going out anyway, so we get to another area, and I had looked up a bunch of hip hop clubs, but the streets were like so buzzing that we ended up just drinking beers outside of this club that we wanted to go to, and I think we then decide like, oh fuck this, let's just choose one of these two. They're both next to each other. We go to one of them, and we're on the way in, and the two Indian girls turn up. Right, we haven't decided to go in yet or not, and they asked us like, "Oh, we want to come in. Is it good?" and all this stuff, and we were like, "We don't know. We're deciding between two, blah blah blah." So we end up making friends with them. I obviously went for the hot one.
They were both pretty hot, weren't they?
No, they were. They were. I was just kidding.
They were both hot.
Yeah. So we ended up sticking with them like pretty much all night, and Shinjuku was so packed because of the World Cup, and Japan had actually won and got to the final, like the quarterfinals or something.
It was Shibuya, where we were clubbing. We started in Shinjuku next to our hotel. You wanted to follow them in the underground, and I said,
So
"No, Chris,
untrue.
let's go clubbing. Let's have a nice drink. Let's not bother anybody. Let's just be perfect gentlemen and have a quiet beer."
This is so bollocks, but anyway, for the story, I'll take that on. Yeah, and then like we spent all night with them, and it was great. We nearly got trampled because one of the girls fell down like after the crossing, and there were so many people that the police there had to like keep people in one. Like it's the biggest crossing in Japan, and still it was packed full of people. And I just remember your chick that was like a nurse, and there was this drunk Japanese guy on the floor, and she was like we were trying to wake him up for like half an hour.
Oh
Man.
yeah, I forgot about that.
So funny. And then she poured some like water on his face. We thought he was like dead, right? And then he just like woke up and then just like fucked off. Didn't say thank you, didn't say anything. We were like, okay, that's interesting. And then we actually walked home that night. Second night, we obviously exchanged contacts, and she's like, turns out she's a product designer as well. I think she was working for like Microsoft or something. And she was like, oh well,
Yeah.
it's your birthday night. Let's go out. Meeting some of my friends from Microsoft. That was great. So we went out the second night with them. Like really getting to know them and having a good time. Steve probably got a boner by then. The one that I was liking ended up puking up all night in the toilet. So then Steve's one had to like run into the toilet all night. And then I think that's the night we actually hooked up with some other random birds.
I like how you say my one and Steve's one, but we didn't get with them, so they're nobody's ones, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The one that I was crashing on, she had a boyfriend, so I took the high ground and decided not to make a move.
Yeah, that is very admirable of you and gentlemanly. And yeah, but that wasn't your intention until you found that out on the second night, of course.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But so the story was, we really wanted to get with these girls, and and it was like a thing. I think when you're on holiday, right? You have these feelings that you need to release. But anyway, a couple of months later, I had her on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, it was really nice meeting you," and all this stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, it was super cool to meet you as well." And she says to me, "It was so." Steve, come back here, mate. Where you going? Listen to this, mate. Listen to this.
Go on, tell it.
Yeah.
it's so funny.
So we're talking on
I can't.
Instagram, right? You have to, you have to, mate. We're talking on Instagram, and she's like, "Oh, it's really nice to meet you guys," and I, of course, said the same. And she was like, "Oh yeah, like me and my friend were just saying how nice you boys were because you didn't try to like get with us or anything." And I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And when I shared that to Steve, it was fucking hilarious, man. Like, it was like the biggest fucking laugh ever.
You were just, and the whole time you'd been pulling out every single move in the book, right?
Yeah, I was trying to, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Dude, you know when your game is so bad that these girls are like, oh my god, they didn't even try anything. Fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
look, this is my excuse, right? I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship, literally that week, so I was a bit rusty. What's your excuse?
Yeah, I don't have one.
Hey, at least you're honest, yeah. At least you're honest.
Yeah. I literally don't have one. I'm trying to bring up that Instagram message.
You still got it.
I'm looking at the WhatsApp messages that we have, but we just have so many like exchanges of like messages that we send to each other. It's basically hard, but it was hilarious. She was like, "Oh, you guys like, oh, it surprised me that you guys didn't even try to like do anything, and that was really nice." And we're like, "Oh shit."
We did, because I remember the first night, like, we all couldn't get back, right? We were wandering around, and you were like, "Oh, we could all go chill in a love hotel." Do you remember? It must have just not clocked on them.
Yeah, but that had always been both of our fantasies, right?
Yeah.
Fucking like you hear about Japanese love hotels, they're so fucking cool. I just wanted to see inside one. Like I would be happy with just me and you just be like, should we just fucking share a bed tonight? And actually just
No, let's not do that. Unless you're paying, then I might consider it.
I mean, yeah. Oh, here it is. Here's the message. I found it. Okay, so she says, laughing my ass off, I was telling my mate, my boyfriend, that the girl that I liked, and I was super impressed that you both were not sketch and didn't hit on us.
There you go. We're not sketch. We're not creepy. That's all that matters. We are perfect gentlemen. And actually, as it turned out, you actually got along better with the one which I fancied, and I got along better with the one that you fancied. The tall one. I can't even remember the name, but we won't say names.
Yeah, we always say names. Yeah, it's true. Actually, yeah, we ended up switching, right?
I got along better with that one, and you got along with that better. Maybe it's because you were in love with that one, so it clouded your judgment, and you got really nervous. Couldn't. You went all Pilkington.
Well, my tactic is always be a friend first and a gentleman first. That's my tactic. I break down the barriers because immediately I'm not thinking about I want to get in your pants. What I'm thinking about is how do I get you out of my bed after I've been in your pants? No,
I was going to say, no, that is exactly what you're thinking. Don't feed me that bullshit. Nobody's going to buy that for a second, mate. Any guy that says that is talking shit. Unless they're like got a girlfriend and they're happily married, then it's a bit different. But any single guy, unless the guy doesn't find her, also if he doesn't find her attractive as well. But if he finds her attractive, then talking shit. God, we have so many good stories, but they're just really, they're just quite extreme, and yeah, they're just quite extreme. I'm not sure the world is ready to hear the stories. We're just giving them the tame ones so far, right? Got to slightly feed bit by bit, get people wanting more.
I think maybe it poses opportunity for us to start a new channel and a new podcast name where we just are explicit and you guys can't find us, and we'll tell you these stories because I'm super open to tell you every single little dirty fucking detail.
So what would you call this podcast then?
I don't know. It's something dumb, something dumb. But we won't use our names. I don't know. Lads on tour. I don't,
Pilks about town.
yeah, Pilks about town.
Let's explain what a pilk is. I think the people deserve to know, right? What a pilk is. We keep making reference to pilks and Pilkingtons.
Sure. Do you want to go for it? What is it? What does it mean to you, or where did it come from?
Well, I know where it came from. It came from your mate.
Sure, mate.
How did we even come up with this term? How did we? I don't know how we came up with this term. So I don't know if anybody's watched Idiot Abroad, which is basically a show with a guy called Carl Pilkington, who is Ricky Gervais's friend, and he goes. I mean, he's literally. I don't know how to describe him. He's kind of like he's very simple, and I wouldn't say he's retarded, but a little bit retarded, and just the way he sees life is just. I don't know. How would you describe him? How would you describe him?
So he's a lad from Manchester, and he's like, I want to give some people context about who he is. This is a lad from Manchester. Doesn't typically travel or go to any other places that are very foreign and unknown to him. He's very risk adverse. He's like, an editor of a lads magazine, so he has that laddish sense in him. And yeah, like his jokes are just like super dry, super raw. But he's just one of those people that doesn't accept change very easily. Anything like non-British will confuse him, and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, why do these people eat with sticks?" Right, and things like that. Right, like he gets freaked out by new ideas and new ways of doing things, and he likes stability and he likes to stay in his box. That's him, right?
Yeah, and he's terrible with women, even though he has. I think he has a wife or a girlfriend, fiance or something. And I remember because he's bald, right? Well, he's balding in the front, and he got this hair. It's basically like a stick-on wig, like it looks really good, right? You have a doctor stick it on your head with like I don't know how they stick it. They just stick it on there, and it's basically a really good hairpiece and looks really good. And he got this thing, but his wife made him get rid of it. Jesus. Oh God.
Yeah, you guys need to watch Idiot Abroad because his name is Carl Pilkington, so we took the pilk from that. But what is it then? Like, why is my friend a pilk or whatever?
Well, so how this whole nickname came about is I have a friend who actually is Chris's friend. Well, I'm not sure if you are friends, but he's Chris is. We're all in the same university class together, and bless my friend, he is a Pilkington. I love him to bits, but he's one of those people, not very good at talking to girls.
Awkward socially, just kind of like, what the fuck
Very
is going
socially
on?
awkward. Yeah, you're kind of like, but because I see the true him, so I know what he's like when he's comfortable, and he's hilarious. He's a great guy, but when he's meeting new people, he does weird things because he gets really nervous. For example, went to a party once. He put washing up liquid in a toaster. Because he didn't talk to anybody, right? I sat on the floor and I was mingling with everybody. It wasn't a big party. It was just like 10 of us or whatever. We were mingling in the living room. I'm talking to everybody. He's kind of in the kitchen doing his own thing. Pours baking soda in a toaster. Ends up buying the house owner a new toaster. I don't know. He bought them an even better toaster. So maybe that's why he did it. Wanted to buy him a good toaster. Then halfway through, he goes up to be sick in the bathroom. He comes back and he says, "Oh mate, I just went up and I was sick because I'm so nervous." I was like, "What the fuck?"
So nervous with speaking to people or what?
I think just social anxiety. I mean, we all have our moments, but he has really extreme.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been sick because I've been so nervous. I've wanted to be sick, but I've never actually been that sick. Yeah, so when I actually spent extended time with him was one at university, but only very, very, only when we went out, and by then you're pretty drunk anyway, so you don't really notice it, and everybody's like on a adrenaline and confidence high. I spent a lot of time with him in Taiwan. Remember, I think it was from my 28th or 29th birthday, where me, my friend from Vietnam, and Mr. Pilkington, all came and we all stayed in like this apartment in Taiwan, which is pretty nice. And yeah, just
I forced him upon you.
oh yes, you did. Yeah, no, it was funny. It was a good experience. There was one night. All right, I remember this. He had met a girl on Tinder, and we went to this place called the Triangle, and it has like a nice little like open area where people can drink outside, but also you can go inside and drink and dance or whatever. It's a bar. It was three o'clock, 3:30, and we wanted to go home. Nobody got lucky, and we were kind of pissed. So we're like, all right, Dave, like you should probably ask her to come back with us, right? Versus just talking to her out here, like for God knows how long. He was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She comes back, and, we had bought some drinks and some snacks, and they're just sitting in the living room. And by now, it's probably like 4:30, right? Like the sun's out, whatever. And I'm like, do you want to take her upstairs so I can go to bed because my room's on the bottom floor and it was quite noisy. But he was like, didn't know really what to do. Like I was just like, mate, just close the deal. She's already here. Oh, that was funny.
So you got him to take her to the room. Like how did, because he did get lucky, right?
I think so.
Because no, he did because he told me, and then he wouldn't lie about that. But I remember when we were all wanted to go home and they were still talking, and then like he wasn't going to ask her back, so I said to her, "Hey, do you want to come back to ours? We're having an after party." She was like, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure." I went home, didn't come at all. You took him back, and you told me that she fell asleep on the sofa or something.
Yeah, I think that's when my opportunity was like, bro, like just get her upstairs, like don't what are you doing? She's just gonna like sleep here all night. Like and he's probably one of those people like I think it's really awkward, right? To wake someone up when they're sleeping as well.
Yeah,
True pilk.
true gentleman. Well, that's a lie, but gentleman, not by choice, not by choice, by pure fear of consequences.
Oh, that's a great definition of what Pilkington is, right? So if you're a pilk, you are not a gentleman by choice because of the fear of the consequences. That's a great fucking definition of it.
But he actually got with another girl that week as well from Tinder, and we had to take him to go to that bar, Shisha Bar, 1001 Nights. We had to take him there. Yeah. You put your hands in your head now. We had to take him there. We had to talk to her mates and be like, hi, how are you doing? And once he actually gets talking, he's all right. But like you said, it's just making the move. He kind of needs the girl to be the one to make the first step. So he was fine. She took him away. They ended up doing whatever. But you, mate, got very drunk, which normally you do not do. I mean, I've never seen you very drunk like that before. Got very drunk and decided that you were going to be sick. And instead of being sick in the toilet or in your hands, you decided to be sick in the floor, directly on the floor. Didn't try and grab it or anything. Then you nearly got in a fight with a bouncer because he said, "Give me 1,000 NT." People from Thailand, that's about 1,000 baht for the cleanup. You didn't want to do it. Nearly ended up getting a fight with this guy who was massive, by the way, like 6'4". I mean, I wouldn't say he was muscular, but he was burly. He was,
wedge.
Would have killed you. It was wedge, yeah? Would have killed you unless you went for the nuts.
Well, at that point, I didn't really give a fuck. I was just like, bro, just threw up. Like, how can you charge me, right? Like, it's weird. I don't know. It's just maybe there's a Western mindset. You don't get charged. You get throwing up in clubs. That's kind of what they're there for, right? They get you so drunk because I've bought so many fucking drinks. Put that on the tab of the drinks, like 10% on top of every drink I order tonight. Just plan for me to throw up. Like that's kind of what it is, right? It's not a cab. Fuck.
Oh, he was a big Turkish man as well. You don't want to mess with a Turkish bouncer. Trust me, mate.
Sure.
Many bad experiences in Turkey with bouncers and people that want to fight them.
It's true, man. I got some Turkish friends that are just like fucking dickheads when it comes to that shit. But yeah, like I was so drunk, right? Like the point where when you're like drunk, you know that you're gonna throw up because you feel it. I didn't know The warning was literally like 1 second before. Fuck throwing up in my hands, man. That's disgusting. You know, I just had to lean forward and just fucking hurl on the floor because it was so spontaneous. I was like, once I hurled, I was like, well, I can probably start drinking again.
I think did we go home or did we go to another club?
I have no idea what happened, but I know we drunk like every night on that holiday. Like that's all we did.
Well, every time you've come to Taiwan, you've gotten absolutely fucked. Apart from, hey, you've been like 4 times now, right? Since I've been here.
Yeah.
There was a time with my Pilk, and then there was a time with your Pilkington friend. So Chris has a Pilkington friend who I'm not sure if he's worse than my Pilkington friend. Like he's worse. He's nodding his head. Does he listen to this podcast? Because I know my Pilkington friend does not.
Well, let's not name names because that's not what we do, right? But oh, this guy is the biggest pilk, and everybody knows it. Even the closest friends of his. He's been a pilk since he was in secondary school. Like if we didn't coin this term, people wouldn't know what to call him, right? But he's definitely a pilk since 11 years old.
But wait, both of our Pilkington friends actually met, right? They both came on that at the same time, right?
I don't know if they did, dude, because
no. It was you knew another guy, right? I don't know if he was Thai. You knew someone in Taiwan. I remember it was Filipino or something. You knew some guy that was in Taiwan. Was he from Vietnam or something? Some random guy. And I remember because we went to the Japanese bar near to my place, drinking in there with them, and then so near, there's that road which kind of has like girly bars, and we went up there and we took them to one which I know is like crap and it's got like old girls in it and they try and like get really expensive drinks, and my dad says never go in there. Took them to it, put them in there, and me and you just fucked off. They just went to another bar. It was like,
I don't fucking remember, mate. It might have just been an acquaintance, and he was. I literally don't know. Is he from Manchester or something?
Yes, yeah, that was it. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was him. That was it.
So basically, I had met this bird the night before, and like we met in like a social situation. No, I met her in Vietnam, and we had hooked up. So I was like, all right, let me reconnect while Steve is busy.
Is that the Ginge? Was I not supposed to say that?
She was kissed by fire. No, I don't care, mate.
You proper liked her as well.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think we got on. Yeah, we got on, and then she just, and then in Japan where I met her again, like we went to Okinawa together, and then she was just so annoying, mate, and I just had to ditch her, like in the middle of the holiday. I could because I was on my own. I was like, "You don't know where I live. See you later." It was great. Oh shit! No, but yeah, no. He was like her friend. They went to uni together in China or something. No, he was actually a good lad. Like he's a good lad.
Yeah, he was actually. Yeah.
Okay, so on this subject, man. Like, so we're talking about we were anyway talking about sort of just dating girls or seeing girls anyway. My friend, and I want to give a big shout out to Natalie Ip. She asked us, "Has either of you dated a different girl from your ethnicity? If so, what are the cultural differences, or are there any? And what how do you feel about it?"
Yeah, I dated an Indian girl. She was Singaporean, but Indian descent. Family born in Singapore, but Indian descent, all from southern India, and we dated for 3 years. So that was quite it was completely opposite. They were very reserved and like to stay in with family, and she was very marriage oriented, like wanted to get married within a year, wanted to have a baby and all this kind of stuff, and that's what the parents wanted that as well, which is not something that I'm used to with British birds. No offense, British birds.
Did your mum care about this? Did your family care about this? Did your sister, like, how did they feel about it?
Well, my mum, for fuck's sake, are we actually bringing this up?
We have to, don't we?
Oh, for God's sake! This questions you just made up to trap me, didn't you?
No, it's not entrapment, mate. It's not entrapment. Go on.
It's not entrapment. Okay. Well, yeah. So my mum's traditional Asian, brought up in Asia, wants me to marry a Cambodian girl, probably from a good family, and she just had a big problem. Actually, to be honest, I thought it was because my girlfriend was of Indian descent, had darker skin, but actually, I think my mum is quite tough on most girls that I try to date. I don't know. I think it's like a mother-son thing. See, don't want to lose my son, etc., etc. So it was fine. Everything was fine because I would just tell my mum, no, we're just friends. Because to be honest, we were in a long term relationship. But I kind of was not really sure. I couldn't pull the trigger, and in the end, it just we both wanted different things. So I would always tell my mum, "Oh, yeah, we're just friends, mum, just good friends," and that was fine. And then when she found out that she was my girlfriend, that's when things weren't fine. So she'd been on holiday with me and my mum. I think once or twice, everything was fine. And then another time she came on holiday with us, mum just didn't like her, like didn't like anything, and it all kind of like blew up. You were in Cambodia at the same time, staying in a hotel across the road, not with me this time. It kind of blew up, and my mum just unconsciously was ignoring her. Basically, she's not doing it on purpose, or she doesn't think that she's doing anything right, but obviously there was some sort of issue. And I was like, I kind of blew up at my mum and said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. And then she pretty much just said, right, I want to talk to her. Get her out here now. And I shut the door. I said, no, you're not talking to her. You're not talking to her. And I was told my girl, I said, pack your stuff, we're leaving. Ran over the road, got a room at your hotel, sent my girlfriend back to Singapore, and then you had to go bloody. My mum was really upset, obviously, because her son's just had a massive fight and just said he's leaving, doesn't want to talk to you. Then you had to go and over the road and make my mum feel good. It was just a big mess. It was a big mess. So yeah, I guess that is a big cultural difference right there, right?
Like, will that ever put you off now you've had maybe, not the best experience, and especially when it has affected you, your mother and son relationship? Of course, you guys are okay now, right? But will you think differently next time when you're like, okay, this girl is from a culture that maybe she won't get, or maybe it's very different from mine? How do you approach your new relationships in that way?
No, I don't think about that. I just think, if I like the girl, she's cool, then yeah, let's hang out, see what happens, see where it goes. And if my mum doesn't like you, I know people who, one side of the family hated the other side, right? Absolutely hated. It was like, no marriage, no. They were firmly against it. And then once they're married, once you have kids, they become grandparents, and everything changes. So I know when that time does happen that she'll come around. So I'm not too worried about it that way. So no, Indian birds are not. You're not off the table.
Reach
Reach out. Slide in the DMs. But seriously, yeah, I'm quite chill when it comes to relationships. So I'm quite slow and don't really push for commitment and stuff like that. I'm kind of more focused on what I'm doing and having good company.
Yeah, that makes sense. You had multiple girlfriends, right? Have they been of the same cultural background, like a English girl or another sort of Cambodian girl? Have you had many relationships?
I'd say ones that I would consider serious, like 3. The one with the Indian girl was my longest. That was 3 years. Another one was, a couple of English girls, yeah, and a Taiwanese. I've dated a couple of Taiwanese, but one seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all different, actually. The main thing for me is, can I get on with them? Like, do we vibe off of each other? Like, I'm a really sarcastic guy, which you are as well, and that's really important for me. The girl has to be able to banter with me and banter back. Do our goals align? Etc., etc.
Okay, so but cultural differences really is not a big deal, right? You get over that. It's more personality than anything.
Actually, you bring up a good point, because I have dated some Taiwanese girls, and I did find it a bit difficult, especially if they were just been brought up in Taiwan. I found that was a difficult barrier. Like, didn't get my sarcasm, but I love Taiwanese girls, by the way. Absolutely stunning. Slide in the DMs. No, but seriously, yeah, I think there is some cultural differences. Can be some cultural differences, but I don't really let it. It's not something I think about too much.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you in terms of I haven't had too many relationships, and actually, so two of my girlfriends, one is British-born Hong Kongese girl, so she's Asian, right? She's Chinese, and then a Vietnamese girl who went to America to study. So both of them have, are ethnically Asian, however, has a very Western mindset and how they perceive the world. They have cultures that I'm familiar with. One Vietnamese, one Chinese, right? That's me. So for me, those are the two serious relationships I've officially had. And then I, of course, dated around or saw someone for an extended period of time. But yeah, for me, it's the same. It like cultural differences I find actually very interesting, right? And I think that's also why I like to travel. It's always like interesting and funny to see different culture things, but it's never been a barrier to liking someone or even seeing them, right? It is for me more about the personality. Do you get on with them? Are they jokes? Has it made a underlying impact to the girls that I'll date in the future? Probably not. Like I think it's cool. Like maybe we would move to South America one day and it'll be completely fine, right? Like yeah, it's not an issue. Or my parents in general have not been so active in my love life. Like they really are one of the most open Asian parents I know. Like not everybody's parents are like this, especially from our background, being refugees and everything. So they're pretty open. They're like, oh, whatever, man. We know we can't do anything about it. If you like her, if she's cool, then it's fine, right? They've always had that a mindset. So yeah, I think it's cool. All right, so to follow up on this topic, because you mentioned something really interesting, like different backgrounds between your mom and your previous relationship, your longest one. Do you think they'll mind if you got married on that term? They're like, oh no, they're a different race. She would mind.
Oh, do you think my mum would mind?
Yeah.
I don't know. My mum is very cautious when it comes to her kids, and obviously, like all parents, wants the best for their kids, but she's really like, don't do this, don't do that. Tries to give me her advice and wisdom, and I love her for it. I love your mum. So yeah, possibly. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think about it because I'm not immediately thinking about marriage or anything. So I'm not really thinking about it. I just see it as if it happens, then I'll just cross that bridge when it comes. But I don't think I'm not really going to make a big deal of it. And whatever comes, like I think I can handle the situation.
Yeah, or just fly me in and I'll handle it for you.
I mean, you're getting quite good at it. It's so funny. You went from my mum's ultimate enemy, right? She hated you. You were banned. Oh no, you can't see him. No, he treat me like he's been treated like hated you, right? To now, she absolutely loves you. You're the second son. She always talks about you. Says, I'm gonna show him how to dance because you danced with my mum at her wedding. Thanks for that. Yeah, that's what you got to
No
do.
worries, mate. No worries, of course. Always there to please.
Yeah, so she loves you.
Well, you know what, right? I think we spoke about this. We previously, yeah, it blew up, right? We were going out and we were disregarding your mom's advice, and I would have dates with a bar girl in Cambodia where it's not known for being the safest place in the world. Come on, it's third world if anything, right? Now it's better, but back then, 5 years ago, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's still pretty crazy now. To be honest, I wouldn't say it's safe. I mean, we had a couple of
Yeah, you
close
could
calls.
harvest organs like easily, right? Like you could probably get someone killed for a few $1,000s. Like it's literally one of those places that are pretty dangerous. So she had real. grounded reasons. I was just being a dickhead, right? I was just being naive and immature, and then we just got into it, and then I had to like move to a different hotel, and screw up the whole hospitality, like like her hospitableness, and then I just apologized a few years later, and she knew I wasn't this like dickhead, sponge, fuck up kind of person, which she probably thought I was because of the way I was behaving and whatever, right?
The way you dress.
I still dress the same, mate.
That's true, actually. Yeah, still getting the same t-shirts.
Yeah, I still dress the same. Yeah, like fuck it, right? Great convo. All right, another
Who
one.
was that from?
It's from Natalie Ip.
Thank you, Natalie. Yep.
Thank you, Natalie. And I won't tell you about how we know each other because I don't think she'll want us to, discuss our secret.
Oh, one of those. Oh, what? Well, everyone knows now. Yeah, Natalie. Yep. All right.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, girl. Anyway, look, she has a follow-up question to that. She has a follow-up question to just this whole field. Do we have a type because we've spent so long of our lives in Asia? Considering we grew up in the UK, has our type changed? I guess is her question.
Why don't you go first with this? Because you've been here longer, so it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you do have a type.
I think I have a type too.
I want to hear your perception.
So for me, growing up, I grew up in a very small community in the town of Horsley, and I went to the school called Howard of Effingham, and I was pretty much the only or a handful of ethnic people in that school of a couple thousand. So I grew up in quite a white neighborhood, a very nice neighborhood, but I didn't really meet Asian people or ethnic people anyway. So I grew up fancying English girls, and that's completely cool. But when I went to my new school, I think I was like 14 or 15, and there was an Asian girl in that class. I was like, damn, she's so fine. Like it was actually kind of weird because I had gone to Chinese school as well every Sunday, and I would see Asian people, but a lot of them would be like friends or family, so I didn't really see them in that light. And also at that age, it was I was a lot younger, so I didn't have that mentality. But yeah, the first time I saw an Asian girl, I was like, bro, she's fire. Then when I went to university, I was like, oh my god, Asian girls. In Portsmouth, there were so many Asian girls, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is like a whole new fucking fantasy or world I live in. Then when I moved to Asia, the first person I hooked up with wasn't. She was actually from Austria, right? Which was quite interesting. But I think I have a type. I do like my petite girls, but yeah, I guess my preferred type or my default type now is Asian because I'm in Asia, right? But to say that I wouldn't hook up with anybody else is not true, right? But yeah, I think maybe I do like the Asian look. The Vietnamese look is very interesting. The Japanese look is very interesting. I like that too, man.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. That's a nice way to put it. Yeah, but you went through a stage, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, where you went off Asian girls and you were just going for Western girls, specifically gingers. I specifically remember a lot of gingers. I mean, I was thinking you were a bit mad, but not with the ginger part.
I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe it's phases, right? I think if you were to say a majority of default for the last 10 years, then Asian, right? Like majority. But yeah, sometimes I like to kind of experiment and stuff. Sometimes you have these little fetishes, right? Where you're like, okay, what is that like? Like I'm still dreaming about my Latinas, but my Mexico experience is over, dude. It's over. Okay.
What your BBW experience?
Dickhead.
I saw pictures, mate. We've all got to try it sometime. Some of us have to try it sometime. I think I'll be all right not trying that.
I mean, whatever, dude. Like, I all sizes and shapes and ethnicities. I'm very woke in that sense. So yeah.
You've done worse. Mate.
Oh god.
We both know you have. We won't bring that. We won't bring that up. I won't be able to compose myself.
All right.
Question. What was it? Do I have a certain type?
Well, now you've been in Asia for so long, but also considered you grew up in the UK. How has that changed? Like, your type?
Yeah, it's definitely changed from when I was in the UK. Actually, it's made me realise that I'm kind of not that into UK birds anymore. I kind of, I don't know. I guess because I haven't been there for so long, and amongst other reasons. I mean, there are plenty of good-looking UK girls from the UK, but I guess when you've spent 25 years there and you're used to that kind of personality, and um, it's kind of nice to have something different, which I have done for the last 4 years. I'm chatting shit, aren't I?
Nah, that's fine. Oh, okay. So when we talk about type,
No, we can talk about type. When it comes to like looks, I'm not sure if I do have a specific type. Like, well, when it comes to race, because you know, I'm attracted to black girls, I'm attracted to Indian girls, I'm attracted to European, American, Asian.
Eskimos.
Never had one, but I'm sure I would be. I'm sure there are some very cute Eskimos out there. Slide in the DMs.
Such a dick.
I'm going to get a lot of men sliding into my DMs, aren't I?
Yeah, yeah. I hope so, mate.
Oh well, it's all. Any attention is good attention, I guess. But when it comes to girls types, okay, I wouldn't say. Okay, I like really sporty girls, girls that are really active. That's a huge turn on for me because I like to go to the gym a lot. So I like girls that have that same sort of motivation to. It doesn't necessarily have to be the gym. It can be a sport they're passionate about. It can be running. That's a big turn on for me. When it comes to look, I kind of go for different looks. I would say I'm more into petite girls, but I don't know. It's like if I see a girl who's as tall as me or not the petite Asian kind of look, or not just Asian, then yeah, I would. I'm not going to say no if I find her attractive. But I wouldn't say I have a specific look apart from like the sporty thing. I don't know, it sounds really like cliche, but actually, personality is really important to me. Like, I mean, how many times have we been talking to girls in bars, stunning, but, just there's nothing up there. You can't have a conversation with them. They've got nothing going on in their life or whatever. So something I find really attractive is when a girl is really motivated and she has got something going on in her own life, whether it's her career or whatever, and she's like striving and pushing for more, and she doesn't just want to settle on just getting married and having a family. She wants to do something. So I really like girls that motivate me because of how hard they hustle. I think that's really important for me to want to get serious.
That makes sense, man. Yeah, yeah. You want someone to inspire you, right? I think that's the key thing, man. Yeah. So okay, so when we talk about types, I actually have a type. Like, this is my preferred type, right? If I was to build an archetype,
I've seen your type already. I saw it. I saw it at Surrey University
you prick.
after the club. What was that club called we used to go to all the time? Flirt or something. Was it called Flirt? No, what is it? It had a different name, but I remember Flirt was like the nights they do on Tuesdays and stuff.
By the campus, right?
Rubik's! Rubik's!
Rubik's.
Rubik's! Oh, dearie me, many a good night, Sam. You especially. We're not going to bring it up. We're not going to bring it up. If the Instagram post gets more than 50 likes, I'll bring up the story.
Yes, yes, that's a good one. That is a good engagement one.
There we go. There we go.
So I actually do have a type, and if I was to build an archetype for what I'm looking for, is actually, yeah. So maybe I do favor the Asians, and I think that's okay to say. It would be like an Asian who has lived abroad. So like, because I do also struggle with what you're saying, Steve, where you've had some people that you're seeing that you just kind of struggle. They struggle to get the sarcasm, or they struggle to get your jokes, or there's just not something quite right that fits you. So for me, it's like, oh yeah, a girl who either has lived for an extended period of time abroad for studying or for working, or someone like me, right, like a third culture kid, because they get the nuances of like balancing different cultures and I find those people more accepting of new ideas anyway, because they're like, all right, well, people do it differently. It's fine. They're not all Pilkingtons, right? Because people like there's a mass of Pilkingtons that just don't really get it because they haven't had that experience. I'm not judging them for that thing. I'm just saying, yeah, those people don't fit in with me as a person. Yeah, so my perfect type would be no, a Japanese girl born in Brazil that went to school in America. That's what I want, man.
Or how about half Japanese, half Brazilian, and she's a runway model. There we go. Got my perfect type. Bam. If you're out there listening, you know what to do. Slide in the DMs.
I don't know about the runway model thing. Yeah, no, I can't do the models. Like, I think most models are, yeah, just dickheads. Like, I can't get along with models. I don't think I've had ever a model friend. I just can't deal with it.
I know a few models, and no, yeah. No, I mean, I know some models who are just like, you try and talk to them, and they just don't know how to talk. They're so awkward, and it's basically because they've been given everything, right? Like, they're so beautiful, and they're used to getting everything, free drinks. They're used to guys just flocking over them. They're used to guys doing all the work. So when it comes to actually talking, there's nothing there, and they're really awkward. And actually, I do bump into these when I go clubbing sometimes. But actually, these ones were all from Eastern Europe, so I'm not sure if that has to do it. But they're like models who have been modeling since they were a kid. But yeah, I know some models that are cool, right? You know, so I don't think it's specifically a model thing. Maybe it skews one way or the other. Or I think probably the actual fact is, mate, is that you've never been able to pull a model, so you wouldn't know.
That's true. That's also something that we shouldn't rule out. Thanks, Steve, for calling that out. Thanks, man.
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure everyone knows all the specifics and gets a fair judgment,
All
right?
right. Well, I know what my new type is. Models. Done.
Well, now you're just copying me because that's my type. Can't you get your own type?
No, okay, so yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Maybe I have the model stereotype in my mind, and it doesn't really do me any favors. But yeah, maybe I should be more open to people in all different occupations. I don't know.
We could get you with a model, I guess.
Ashley, I heard, was available.
Oh, Ashley. Yes. Well, actually, I think she would be pretty good for you. Actually, she's not a model, but she is stunning. She is very good looking.
Why is she very good for me? Like what? Like, because I'm interested. You guys were saying this, like, or you said it specifically. I don't know if your girl agreed. She's like, "Oh, we're doing this," but why? Like, why is she good for me? Like, what about her?
Yeah, she did agree. Well, actually, it's funny because I've kind of like I've matched like my closest friends, which is you and my other close friend Joe, who you met a couple of times, with like one of her friends each, who we thought, oh yeah, that's a good match, and oh yeah, that's a good match, and we were just talking about it, and when we were talking about friends, like a lot of similarities came up, and I was like, yeah, that's it, that's the one, that's who he's marrying. Sorry.
No, but I want to hear about these similarities, man. I want to know like the specifics. What is she like? Why would she fit me? Is she like a complete dickhead like I am? Like what?
No, you've got to leave some mystery, right? Can't just like break it completely. You've got to leave some mystery. Got to leave you, with some anticipation. I don't need to sell it. She's fit. Okay, there you go. Sold. You've done worse, much worse. I mean, I have as well.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. You're right. I have done very badly.
What, all the time? I mean, the way you said it, it's like you're saying like all your past has been bad.
I'll regret it if I don't, right? I'll just regret it. Like, come on,
Yeah, absolutely.
we can't all live up to a standard that we don't agree with. So I take what I could get, mate.
Like, yeah, when you're in Bangkok, you can get a lot. Yeah, you can get more than you bargained for.
Oh Jesus Christ! You don't know how many ladyboys I've matched with since this social fucking isolation has happened to me. It's all ladyboys.
How many have you tugged off to? Honestly, like, because you know there are some, especially in Bangkok, there are some good-looking ladyboys. I won't be afraid to say that. I've been to Thailand many times, saw a girl and be like, wow. I went to one of those cabaret shows, right? The ones where they're all transsexuals or ladyboys or whatever. And I was like, wow, fit. She's fit. She's fit. She's fit. Can't be a man. Definitely not. She's fit. So all I'm saying is, when you were looking on them and you saw like, oh yeah, she's fit. Maybe you did something with her pictures, and then afterwards she was like, hey, I'm a man.
You're right, man. Some of them are really good looking. Like it's true, and also like what I appreciate is they make so much more effort, right? Because like also some of the locals don't make any effort, and you're like, bro, like the fuck, like at least like wash your hair, you know, like. But some of them make a lot of effort, and yeah, they're stunning women. It's just not what I'm into. I don't want to. I don't want to have a surprise. I don't like anal as it is, right? I do not want a surprise when it comes to it. I don't want a cock bigger than mine in the bedroom. All right.
That's not hard, mate.
Oh,
No, no. You've got a big dick. I've seen it. Anyway, no, but no, but what if they're post-op? Because if they're post-op, then they actually have a thing. They have lady parts, but they need to lube it up and stuff. I surprisingly know a lot about this. I haven't experienced it firsthand.
no, but it's different, right? It's not like a vagina cavity, right?
No,
It's nip and tuck, like snip and tuck, sorry,
yeah,
and then it's like it works for just going to the toilet. And number one, but you can't fuck that hole, surely.
yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. They just have to put lube.
I was just talking about our ladyboy experience in Cambodia at the beach. I don't know if you can remember exactly what happened, but we were out. I think it was just me and you actually. We were out at this bar at the beach, lots of expats, lots of girls, and I can't remember. We were drinking outside and we were sitting down, and I can't remember if I went and sat next to them, or they came and sat next to us, and I started talking to them, and you just basically ran away. Like, you just couldn't handle it. You were just like, nah, I'm gone.
Yeah, because you were so enthusiastic. But these weren't even good looking. They was like so obvious. They had like mustaches and stuff, and I was like, bro, like what are you doing, man? And you were just doing it to prove a point, like. And I was like, well, can we try and like get drunk or something, like yeah. But I do like how Thailand is fucking progressive, just in general, right? Like it's not like the US. Like there's no movement. There's no LGBT movement. It's like people are just like get on with your lives, and that's way better than like blasting it on posters and making people accept you. And people are just like here, like yeah, cool,
No one cares.
yeah, no one cares. It's like a whatever, man. If you're into it, you're into it. If you're not into it, like you don't need to, bash anybody about it, right?
So you're not into it.
I'm not into it. Yeah, I mean, I could be swayed with a couple of glasses of soju,
Oh, we do like our soju and beer.
the best.
Actually, I wanted to ask you, since we're on, you were talking about you've matched up with so many ladyboys. I actually want to know, what has your experience been like dating in Thailand, and specifically Thai? How has that been? Have you got any funny stories?
Yeah. Uh, okay. I can tell you. No,
I want to hear the band.
not hugely funny. I think I've been less successful in terms of just like getting dates in general. In Vietnam, it was very easy to meet up with people, and like I went through a period where I have like 5 dates a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be bored. Yeah, it was like I was active, and these are like new people every week. I was really bored at work. I went in like 2 hours a day. Sometimes I didn't even go in, so I had a lot of free time, and I was just kind of like, oh, whatever. But here it has been more difficult to just meet up with people because the city is a bit larger and everybody's focused on work. I've had some successes, had some people that I liked and gelled with, but not as many as I would say in Vietnam. And also, I haven't really focused all my attention on it. Right? Yeah, I haven't focused all my attention on it. Like sometimes in Vietnam, I just get a phase of getting really bored. So I'm just like, oh, like at work. So I'm just like, okay, let me just try and date some people and meet some people. Uh, yeah, it's a bit difficult here. I would say it's more difficult here. But I've probably had 10 dates since I've been here, and it's been like 5 months, and that's terrible, right? I've met maybe two people I found cool, but just not enough time. Might see each other once a week, something like that.
Okay.
So it has no great stories. Also, I've also failed to close a few times. I've got them back in my apartment, and it just hasn't.
What happened with your date last week? That was on the podcast, right?
That was on the podcast, yeah.
Can we talk about that, or that's a bit too much? Does she listen? That's the question.
I'm not sure she does. I showed her. She may listen. I'm not sure. Maybe she'll be really pissed off at me because we spoke about it last time. like the code word and everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't hear you say the code word. I didn't hear you say durian, so everything must have been cool.
Yeah. I didn't want to say. I wanted to leave people on their seats, but I should have said it just for banter. No, I think it was fine. I was there for my friend's 40th, right, as I told you before. So, I was trying to, be a good host, but she was a bit nervous, and that's okay. And then she ended up leaving early, not drinking too much. So, yeah, I haven't spoken to her since. I don't know if I want to or don't want to. I'm not sure. Like we've only spoke to each other. We've only seen each other once, so it's not like I feel necessary. Also, I don't think I have that much time. I'm not sure what she wants out of this. Maybe nothing. Maybe just casual stuff. But yeah, I'm not that bothered. Not that bothered, really.
Plus, if you fuck up, she'd literally kill you. Like she could kill you.
She would
with her bare hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something you've got to keep in the back of the mind.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Anyway, you are promised Ashley, so I don't even know why we're discussing other suitors, right?
That's true, but this, I can't live out the prophecy when she lives so far away.
You can't yet, but to be honest, nobody can travel right now because of viruses.
Okay, so what? She lives in Taiwan? Is that what you're telling me?
No, in Holland.
Then what the fuck is going on, bro? I can't see her in Holland. I don't want to move to fucking Amsterdam.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, if you live in Amsterdam, you probably wouldn't mind moving out. I mean, what's so great about Amsterdam? No offense to anybody who lives in Amsterdam, apart from the weed and
the hookers.
I've only been there once, so maybe I can't. I'm not saying. You've been there, right?
Yeah, I've been there. My sister used to live there. She lived there for a year.
And you've walked down the red light district and...
She really liked the city because it's so cycle friendly. Like everybody takes their bike out. They've got really nice canals. It's actually a cool city, but her main complaint was like the food. It wasn't that interesting. It wasn't like specifically amazing, like, and she's a huge foodie. So she needs that, like weirdness in the food or like, spices and flavors that combat. Yeah. So she was like, it is definitely a nice city to live in, but it's also like the room is a bit shitty, right? Like it's so confined and so small, the city.
I mean, I only went there once for literally must have been like three nights with a friend just to get fucked up and
oh yeah what happened?
We won't be talking about that.
Maybe if I get my friend on, then we could talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really. It wasn't like going to like Tokyo or going to other countries where I've been like, yes, I could see myself living it. I was kind of like, not really into it. Now, for example, when I went to Manila, I was like, oh, actually, I'm feeling it. It's got a lot of the stuff I like, apart from the absolutely terrible traffic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, right?
So yeah, where are you going? Are you going for a piss or something? Well, you could just cut this part out, actually. I didn't think you would hear that.
What were you doing?
That's keeping the audience entertained.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm sure they're very entertained. So there was another topic that you wanted to discuss. Let me get my phone. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the other topic we wanted to speak about, and I want to ask you, of course, your opinion. It says, find 3 hobbies you love. 1, that makes you money. 2, that keeps you in shape. And 3, one that you can be creative in. So what is your 3, right? In life, we should find 3 hobbies. What are your 3, Steve?
Yeah, I really liked that you posted this, actually. You do post a lot of crap, a lot of motivational stuff, which I don't really like. But this, I was like, oh, this is good. I'll give him the little fire emoji on Instagram. What are my 3? One that's creative, one that makes you money, and then one that's keeps you active. So one for health is, for me, it's the gym. Absolutely love going to the gym. I'm not sure if we've spoken that before, but we might have touched it before. Absolutely love it, and I'm not right if I'm not going to the gym. Basically, I need it to be, at my top performing self, mentally and physically. One that makes me money. This would be marketing, and one thing that I have. So I really like marketing. There's a lot of areas of marketing that I really enjoy. Running digital campaigns, running ads on certain platforms like LinkedIn. I've been getting to know LinkedIn quite well recently. That's been really interesting. One for me, which I was focusing a lot of time into, like a couple of years ago, was learning web development. So learning HTML, learning CSS, and learning JavaScript. And I learned it to a decent level. Not someone who's can write loads of complex algorithms, and I can solve simple problems. I could build apps. I'd have to Google a lot of stuff, but I know JavaScript. I know the language quite well. I know how it works and how its behavior compared to other programming languages. So I kind of would say, even though I'm not doing so much web development anymore, it's still a hobby for me, and it's still something that I want to improve and get to a point where I could potentially be at a level to be a full stack developer, even though I don't see myself doing that, but it's more just having that skill set. And the creative one is actually something I've picked up recently, which is, as you know, I went and bought myself a camera, and I've been getting into photography and videography, editing photos and editing videos. That's something that I've invested in recently, and I'm quite excited about, actually, because I don't know. I tried to do it a couple of years ago. I bought a Canon G7X Mark II, which is just a point and shoot camera. I bought it for I wanted to film some videos. Never really used it, and then a couple of years later, I don't know. I just had the sudden urge. I've watched some filmmakers on YouTube, especially like cinematic stuff. People who do like cinematic videos in cities and stuff like that. With all these cool transitions, that really piqued my interest. So I've just slowly been learning that for, I guess, like the last videography, I guess, like the last month, and then photo editing kind of like the last 6 months, I would guess. But I only just got a new camera. So who knows? Maybe one day I could make money off of that. But I'm a long way from doing that.
Awesome.
What about you?
So my three hobbies that I love. The first one is making money. I think design is still something I really like specifically UX. I still think that is one of the passions that I won't forget, and I will just stem from it or grow in an area where I can specialize more. When I was at Wise Light, it was very much about workshops, right? It wasn't about necessarily building and executing on the user interface, but really about the workshops, helping people figure out their strategy and how we like concrete that into certain requirements. Then I could pass on to a different team member. So that was quite interesting. I touched a lot on product strategy there, which still fascinates me to this day, right? So I think that's still good moneymaker for me. One that keeps me in shape. I've had it for years, ever since I started, which is basketball. But I am trying to slowly evolve one that I like keeping me in shape. So recently I started yoga again, and I find that quite relaxing. Like it's meditation and some sort of exercise that you can just do anywhere, right? And especially in this social isolation phase in society, you could do it at home, right? You can't play basketball at home. So yeah, I think that one I still need to figure out. I've always had a interest in martial arts, and I've always loved doing it, but I haven't done it in so many years. I don't think that's something I could keep up for the rest of my life. I know basketball could be, if I find a good enough, or sorry, if I find a group that kind of fits me. I'm not as active as I used to be, so I guess that's just life. And number three, want to be creative. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about like the recent things I've started, like this podcast, did some video editing, bought a new camera like Steve has. But really, I think one that's creative for me. This might sound really stupid, but like creating and sharing content, right? Because I do that all the time. Like I can't help it. Like when I find a nice idea that resonates with me, I'm just like, oh, I need to tell someone about it. There's just something inside of me. I'm like, oh yeah. So that's, I think, the creative side, right? Whether it's writing because I've done some writing before, or recording this, or whatever it is. But I think that's the creative side, finding new projects and new ways to just do something, right? I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. Whether or not I make money, it doesn't really matter to me. I just kind of want to do it. It's the process of doing it, like recording a podcast, figuring out how it works, the sound product or the sound editing behind it, and then like how do you edit videos? Like that stuff is fun, right? Takes some getting to used to and learning. It's all part of it, right? So yeah, I think that's my creative side.
Yeah, actually, when you put it that way, I know that you've actually always liked creating content. I'm not sure about in your uni days. I can't really remember. Oh wait, didn't you create that one fashion brand? Was it Thug Within a Gentleman or something?
No, that was Yogesh. Thug within a gentle. That was fucking funny.
Well, I can't remember. Oh dear, I can't remember at university. If he doesn't, you haven't got him on Instagram, have you? I don't.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But I remember you got into writing. You've written some articles before, right? You wrote your article on OKRs, objectives and key results, which actually I thought was really good, and I've actually started using your methodology this year, and I researched it. I was using the Get Things Done Kanban methodology, which I think is good as well, but I kind of like this one. And yeah, like with the podcast and your YouTube video, I think there's something exciting about creating some content and just putting it out there. Like just showing your creative side and just doing something you haven't done before and trying to see, okay, will this work? Won't this work? Yeah. And I think that's, for myself, I think that's kind of where I'm veering to with the whole videography. I mean, eventually I want to put some stuff out there and photography. It's not something I'm looking to do as like, oh, I want to do some freelance work for clients and stuff. It would be just for me. Whereas programming is like, yeah, it's for me. It could be, I could freelance, I could do all that stuff, but this stuff, like you, it's just you want to put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, it fuels my other side, right? Because like I like, so I did a lot of design freelance when I first started because I was so obsessed by it. It was like my creativity and my money maker, right? But and then now I don't even freelance design because that's not where the creativity comes from. So it almost begs me to say, hey, do something different. What else can I learn that maybe design can influence that, right? Yeah, I think it's super important. Also, when you said like about uni, I remember back in the day that I started a blog, you know, when blogging was really popular. Yeah, I was like fucking writing, like, and I spent a lot of time like doing HTML, like on a WordPress site or some bullshit, right? I always like doing that. The like the creative craft of like, what do I write about? How can I design it or whatever, right? And then I wanted like me and Pilkington, my friend, the ultimate Pilk, like we wanted to start this like t-shirt brand, you know, when t-shirt brands in London were the hottest thing, right? You know, like Boy Better Know, like before that shit. And we were like, oh, let's start it. Like I've always wanted to do these creative side projects just because I wanted to start the same one with my sister. It just never picked up, right? We were looking at like because she's a fashion designer, and we were looking at like people who can produce it in Vietnam because that's like one of the key places. It's fucking cheap, and it just never picked off, right? But I think the key thing for me is like bringing people in. Like I can never do it on my own for some reason. I need to be like, hey, dude, can we do this together? Here's my idea. What's yours? And then and work on it. And this is why the podcast has started. Like I've wanted to do this podcast, like a podcast, for probably close to like 6 months to a year. Not even joking you, right? And it's only till I met Jessica and she was like, you know what, I want to like Twitch live stream again, but I want to be like super focused on my content. I want to start a podcast from it. I want to do YouTube videos. I was like, bro, that's cool that you have your own agenda and vision of where you want to take your brand, but why don't we just start one now for jokes? And that's how we fucking started, right? Like just, but I need someone to hold me accountable to that. And I just want to go to one small topic is I went back to England in 2015 and I was, you know, sat in a room with my cousin and I had like visited him for a few days. We were talking about how much we want to get into video. Like when he was showing me his clips, because he had just got a new drone, he's like filming stuff. I was like, bro, I want to get into video. I want to get into video. It had taken me 5 years to even find it, right? Amidst all this craziness of life. And then I had, you know, just did a video in literally one day, one night. But I had been thinking about it for so long. Sometimes that fear, yeah, I bought a camera like 3 months before. It took me that long to even record and to film something. Literally, the clip of me took less than 10 minutes, right? And then I just cut it up like shit, put it together, just let it out because it's not actually that big of a deal, right? It's just like something in my mind like stopped me and I never did it and I made excuses for myself. So I would say if I had advice, and this is from personal experience where I fucked up and I know, just get out there, man. Like you don't have to put your name behind it. I know we want to live in a world of perfectionism because we see all these people who've doing it for like 10 years and have like millions of followers, but just put it out there. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. But it's those people that keep putting shit out there, even when it's like not perfect. Those are the ones who are getting real traction and have perfected their target audience or their message, their style, if it's film, like whatever it is, right? I think I need to heed that advice like to myself as well. I need to just put shit out there, put shit out there, put shit out there. But I would say the same to you, Steve. Just fucking do it, mate. And I'm here to help, whatever you need, man.
Oh, all right. 10 grand, please.
Yeah, man. Put together a business plan, and when I get my money back, yeah, I'm down.
No, but actually, everything you just said there is spot on, and I agree with it all. Yeah, I think sometimes wanting to make sure something's perfect before you put it out is a big problem. Analysis paralysis, I guess. I think, like you said last week, it's not the idea, but it's actually the execution. So just go out and do it. And if it's shit, you're going to get some feedback to tell you that it's shit, so you know how to make it better. But without putting it out there and not getting the feedback, you don't know, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're getting no views, no likes on a YouTube channel for 5 years, then obviously change your content or move on to something else.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, I agree with everything you said.
yeah, and like, for us, like if it's our creative avenue, we almost don't care what people think. We just like making it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
either you
that's
like
true.
it or not, I don't give a fuck because I'm still like doing my other shit to make money. But I would like to do my creative job as as making money, right? But like, whatever. But eventually this is a great topic actually. We want to move to financial independence, right? So if it's something that we love that makes us money, great. Something that keeps us in shape that makes us money, great. Something that that we are creative in that makes us money. Imagine those three things. Like, what else do you want in life? Like, that means like you've done it, right? You like you're doing everything that you love, and then you're making money, so you can do more shit you love. But you're not living like how we're living. We're living like paycheck. It's not even like the perfect situation, right? It's a love-hate relationship. But imagine if it was just a love relationship. We'll be like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, life is amazing. But we're not like that, right? We're in this like weird chasm that everybody is facing. Me and you are very lucky because I earn money from design. You earn money from marketing, and you touch on some web development stuff. That's great. We're already in a field we love. But how many people are working in McDonald's that just got the sack, right? Or been told to go home without pay? Like, fuck.
Yeah, no, actually, that's a great point. So whenever I do think, oh, can't deal with this, it's fucking bullshit, had a shit day or whatever, I kind of try to reflect and think, okay, I'm a lot luckier than a lot of people out there to be in the position I am in. So yeah, especially with the recent situations, like I think like America's like 15% of filed for unemployment or something like that. It's getting crazy. I saw Boris Johnson. Did you see? He's positive.
Really?
Literally just before we started filming this podcast, like an hour before, just came out.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. I don't really want to talk about it because I mean I'm just talking about it all day with colleagues and because it is. I mean,
it's terrible, man.
It's crazy times.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen.
But bro, to your point, yeah, we are really lucky. Like, we are super lucky, and we should be grateful and have gratitude. However, if we are not, like, I tell this to everybody, right? Like, people I meet, I'm like, but if you're not happy, you should still find a happy place. Because we know we can find a happy place, right? We've gone through the process of working at shit jobs and being somewhere we don't know. Or don't enjoy, sorry. So that's also why I'm thinking, like, well, why the fuck am I in a situation where I'm not exactly like succeeding and the happiest person I need to be, and then to explore a place where I need to be happy, and whether that comes with a new job or being a freelancer for a bit or just creating some content and seeing where that gets me. Like, I'm okay with that, like yeah, because like at the end of the day, it's what you do to progress that, right? We even though we are in a lucky situation, it could always, well, for me, it could always be better because I'm just one of those cats that are just like, fuck, I'm unhappy. Where else can I move to? Like, I'm like weird in the head. I'm never content, right? I'm just like, oh, let's go. So, just think about that and find your happy place. And I would say, just because your contract says an amount, like a number of years, doesn't mean that you need to stay there. You can break it whenever you want. You can, you are your own person. No corporate baggage. Like, seriously, man.
You trying to get me to move in with you, mate?
I'm trying to start a fucking empire, mate. Are you on board, or I'm trying to back you?
I mean, to be honest, we've been talking about this for quite a while. And you remember in Vietnam, we spoke to that restaurant, and we basically were throwing about some ideas in the hot tub of my hotel while drinking some cocktails, and just we actually brainstormed some really good ideas, and if we wanted to, I mean, I think my workload was not as crazy as it is now. We probably could have, we could have done this project for them, and we could have made a decent amount of money, right?
Exactly. And you know what? Sometimes you just gotta gamble, right? Just what happens if we, let's say, quit our jobs for 6 months? We can probably eat just as easy, find another job 6 months later, and be like, dude, we had a great stab at that. And we were in coffee shops and we were just smashing it out, trying to get clients, trying to do this, trying to do that. And then we've launched a product online, right? Or whatever. But with software, it's cheap as well. It's just your living conditions that are probably more expensive than any software out there, right? Software as a service. So we could do it, like no qualms. And I'm actually looking towards that. I'm like, I'm in a place where I'm very fortunate to be able to quit my job and then just fucking try something because I've wanted to do that for ages. So one thing I did was I registered for a company in Vietnam when I was 30 because that was one of my goals. Like I wanted to start a company by the time I was 30. 2 years later, that company has done zero, right? And it's just one of those things I wanted to do, and it's stupid, right? Because I never spent the time. I never fully committed. But if I quit my job, like that's it. That's like shit. I've got to make it. You put yourself in that urgency situation. Like you're grinding and you're hustling your life out, and I want to do that. I really want to do that. I just don't have the courage yet because I just want to like stack the bank account for a little bit. But I'm telling you, I will do that, and it'll probably be sometime around my birthday, unless a really good opportunity comes up. But maybe I just won't look for it. Maybe I just won't look for
I'm coming to Bangkok.
it.
I'm coming to Bangkok.
Good, love
Coming
it.
to Bangkok. No, but actually, I'm sort of I have similar thoughts to you on this subject. I have a slightly different perspective. I mean, the whole reason I decided to get into programming and all this kind of stuff was because I want to build the next Facebook and all this kind of stuff. I wanted to be able to do it myself. Once I started learning a lot more and grew up with age, I realized, okay, I'm not going to build the next Facebook, but I do have the ability to build my own software. I could do that. So that was the whole point, is I could do that without having to pay a developer 50,000 US or something, or I could at least have some understanding if I am paying a developer as what's going on, what they're doing, is it right, is it wrong, etc., etc. Where we differ slightly is, I feel like you said, you need to put yourself in this situation where you don't really have any other choice but to build something, it's so some people thrive under that stuff because they can just put all their energy into it. I have thought about that as well myself. My thinking, we've spoken about this before, is if I can't do it while I'm working a job, then I don't see how I can run my own business, which would basically be 24 hours a day. So if I can't build something to get some kind of traction, whether it be a certain amount of monthly recurring revenue or a certain amount of users, it doesn't necessarily have to be revenue, a certain amount of monthly active users. If I can't do that while I'm working a job, then I'm not sure if I could just do it from scratch. Anyway, I'm not sure if I would have the discipline. Another reason is when you're working a job is you're basically bankrolling your startup. You don't have to worry about, I need to find investors. I haven't got any money. How am I going to pay rent next month? So maybe there isn't that exact urgency to, I have to make it, but it's more of I want something moving before I completely commit. People call it indie hacking. I'm not sure if you heard of that term, which is basically, you bootstrap your own startup, no startup funds, basically build it yourself. Once you get some traction, that's when you go all in. And I don't know if that's the right way, because people have built companies in both scenarios. So there's no right or wrong way. And maybe I'm thinking about it completely wrong. And what I need to do is just move to Bangkok and go all in and say, fuck it.
Mate, I've seen you go all in. You got a higher distinction score on your fucking final thesis, right? Do you remember? I started mine like 2 weeks before.
Bloody hell, yeah.
You started yours 1 week before. You got a better score than I did because you just cranked the fuck out, right? So my rebuttal, and I completely get where you're coming from. I definitely was the same, but let's say you don't enjoy your job, okay? Or let's say you like enjoy it 60% of the time and 40% you don't. After a long days of work, is the thing that you want to do is crank out, something, right? Maybe it's like having having the idea that you believe, or having a product that you believe in, like the vision is so clear. But a lot of times people don't have that. You're not saving the world here. You're just trying to build something that has some traction, right? So how many hours of a day do we have spare? If you're doing the gym, if you're socializing, if you've got work, you've probably got one day free, right? How much time do you spend meditating? How much time do you spend reading? How much time do you spend in your interest? Like, we don't do that shit on the weekdays, right? On the weekends, we just kind of want to like mong out, right? They're like, it's very hard to be disciplined when you have a job, right? Some people are better at it than others because they can function at a higher level, but that's not your normal human, right? Your normal human can probably crank out like 60 hours a week. That's it. And I'm not expecting, like, I know I'm not one of those humans because I've tried and I've done it before in the past on pure adrenaline, and it doesn't work for me. It's not sustainable. So that's why for me, I need to realign with my priorities. If money isn't an issue, then take that off the table. Yeah, and then that creates some urgency, and then focus in on that. Yeah, and that's my whole rebuttal. And yeah, you're right. With lots of companies are different ways of starting up and doing that stuff. But yeah, I think I need to commit. If I don't commit, I'm not going to get anywhere.
For me, I go in phases. Like I go in phases of like huge productivity where come home from work, I'll do two, or I would say about two, because that's all I have time for. If I'm going to the gym, about 2 hours of focused work, and then on the weekends, I'll do 5 hours on a Saturday, and maybe some more on a Sunday if I'm not doing stuff. But yeah, for me, it goes through phases. Like a couple of years ago, when I really did not like my job, that's when actually I started hustling on the side more, and I was really going into I was doing 3 hours of programming every day. I was building stuff on the side, building up my GitHub portfolio. Yeah. But yeah, now that I'm sort of more comfortable with my job, that it is hard. You're right. It's harder to be disciplined, especially on a weekday. And if you've got the social stuff, then yeah, it is very hard, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. We need that uninterrupted focus time, right? And a 9 to 5 just sometimes blocks you because all you think about is work and stuff. But yeah. Let's see what happens. I think 2020 will be one of those years where if we don't gamble, then it's one of those years, right? So I was reflecting back on this Instagram post I had, which is super lame, right? But basically, I just highlighted what happened in 2019, and I think it's a really good practice that we should all do. I like Instagram, so I post a lot of things, but I basically went through my Instagram feed of 2019, and I was like, oh, this is how I started the year. And pictures really capture that moment, and I just went through it, and I was like, fuck, I did so much. But then sometime, like part of that year, I wasn't completely like sure what I was going to do. But reflecting back on everything, I was like, oh, that's fucking amazing, right? I want to look back at 2020 the same shit. I don't want to be like, oh, I just went to work in it. Like, just went to a gym. Like, I'm fit, but like, what does that mean, right? So I'm trying to do that, and we're kind of at the golden age of everything, right? Like this is when, you know, tech is booming, like everything is booming. So, and we're also in Asia, which means like things are developing. It's not as sophisticated as US. The barrier to entry is a lot lower for us. So we can make a really big stamp, and I'm so excited for all of this shit. Like whatever it is, however you build financial independence, I'm all in. Like I gotta start doing something, and I feel a bit like
Yeah.
stagnant, right? Like even if this is a good job or whatever, I just feel a bit stagnant, bro. Like, yeah, I gotta get someone to slap me out. You know, like after this Corona thing,
Right, fuck it. Just go in, yeah?
just go in, man. Just go in. If I have anything exciting, I'll let you know. But probably not. Probably for the first few months, I'll get in this state of like fear. But let's see how it happens.
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for everyone out there.
Yeah, anybody that wants to like that has thought about this shit, just fucking do it, mate. Like literally, it's too short, right? Corona's out there. We don't even know when the next pandemic is on its way. Like there's death, taxes, and pandemics. That's all you're getting. So you might as well fucking do it, you know?
Yeah, life's way too short. Good point. Good point, my friend.
All right. Should we end it here? Because it's probably pretty late for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've been going for like 2 hours, so I don't know how normally you go for.
No, I mean this is the longest one we've ever done, man. Like literally.
You just love talking to me, don't you?
I do, yeah, I do. I gotta get shoes on my chest, bro. Like, fuck. Where can the people find you, bro?
On my great Instagram handle name, Stephen Owen 0707.
I'll beg you change it. I'll beg you.
I'm still working on renaming it. I would love to hear some suggestions from people.
Pilk. Slide in the DMs, man. Slide in the pilkiest man. The pilkiest.
Yeah, I'll come up with something. Oh, bloody hell. So I was going to say, hopefully it could be something as cool as @semi-grown kid.
That's where you can find me. And with that, we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Drop.